Now's the time to be part of the team at Team Toyota. Step up to the plate with a winning lineup of new Toyota models like the new 4Runner, Grand Highlander, and the all-new 2026 RAV4. Or find something perfect for your game plan and your budget with over 300 certified used Toyotas available. And don't sweat a trip to the IL. Our service and collision centers will have you back in the game in no time. So slide into one of our 3 locations, Princeton, Langhorne, or Glen Mills, or take a swing online at teamtoyota.net. This is Phillies Talk, presented by Team Toyota. That is Sean Kane, the producer of Phillies pre- and post-game live. I am Spencer McKercher, digital video producer here at NBC Sports Philadelphia. Happy Friday, Sean Kane.
Happy Friday, Spence. We're going to do our best to make this a good Friday. I know some Phillies fans of a certain age don't need to be reminded about Black Friday. That was on the field in the playoffs back in the late 70s, but not a great Friday for the Phillies. There was a silver lining to come a little later, but not a good start to this Friday for Phillies fans.
No, it is not. A little emergency pod. We just talked to you guys just 2 days ago, and we talked to you guys on Wednesday after that meeting with Bo Bichette went very good. Not very well, very good on Monday between the Phillies and Bo Bichette. Thursday night comes along. Ken Rosenthal is out here reporting that, it's all but in agreement. The Phillies will sign Bo Bichette. They're still waiting to hear. I went out, had a few beers last night with some friends.
Yeah.
Woke up feeling good, had an off day today, and I wake up, I'm making some breakfast, getting ready to run some errands. And the worst possible outcome, I think, if you're a Phillies fan, happened.
Yeah.
And that is Bo Bichette signing with the freaking New York Mets for a 3-year, $126 million deal. Sean, just give me your immediate reaction, because obviously I have mine, and I think it's not like blow up the city, it's the end of the world, oh my goodness, but it is disappointing.
Oh, it's really disappointing. And you said it, all the momentum had been building. They were the favorites. Momentum's building towards them. They're going to get it done. And, you go to bed Thursday night, and you wake up Friday, like you said, and not only does he not sign with the Phillies, he signs with their hated division rival, the Mets. So it's a double whammy in that respect. And yeah, I think Kyle Tucker signing with the Dodgers started kind of a domino effect that did not work out in the Phillies' favor. I think the Mets were in on Tucker. They didn't get him, so they pivoted to Bichette, and they drove up the price in an effort to get him, and they gave him that shorter-term deal, and obviously it was reported that the Phillies had already offered him a longer term, 7 years, $200 million. So that's a great offer by the Phillies.
It's a great offer.
But Bichette opts for the shorter-term deal, higher annual average value at $42 million. And I guess he's kind of betting on himself that 3 years from now, if he doesn't opt out before that, in 3 years from now, he's going to be 30 years old. He'll hit free agency again. He'll end up making more money over the span of that 7 years. But yeah, it's disappointing. It's really disappointing. We were excited. It looked like it was going to happen. Add him to the Phillies lineup. Put him at second base. Put him wherever you want to put him, and shuffle the infield around. And what a great addition it would be. But all for naught. And again, not only does he not sign, he goes to the Mets, and the Mets suddenly, they look like they got a pretty stacked lineup. It's just, it stings. It's disappointing. It's tough to blame the Phillies, in my opinion, for offering a guy $200 million. He took a shorter deal. Maybe they could have driven it up, but to me, it also feels like maybe the Phillies were kind of used a little bit to kind of drive that price tag up with all the reports about, the meeting went well, and they're the favorites, and it's kind of how negotiations tend to play out. But it's disappointing. That's the best word for it.
Yeah, and like I said, everyone, is freaking out, and I get it.
Yeah,
I definitely, you and I have had the debate. Is it underwhelming, or is it an underwhelming offseason for the Phillies? And I didn't really think it was. I thought it was whelming, right? It was right there, but then that was with the caveat of, hey, you have to get Bo Bichette.
Yeah,
and that didn't happen. So, the Phillies, they were never going to offer him that high AAV, $42 million a year.
Yeah,
is ridiculous for a guy like Bo Bichette. Yes, and you and I have had the debate where I didn't realize how good his numbers really were, but I still don't know if Bo Bichette is worth $42 million a year.
That's a lot of money.
I also don't know if Kyle Tucker is worth $60 million a year.
That's a whole nother conversation.
That's ridiculous. I can't stop staring at 4 for $240. It just
that's
all the Dodgers.
It's crazy. Think about Kyle Tucker's annual average value, 60, being twice as much as Kyle Schwarber's. Now, Schwarber's a DH. Tucker is a above-average defensive outfielder, but for him to be making twice as much as Schwarber and only 1 year fewer than Schwarber, too, it's just crazy to kind of put it in that context.
It's ridiculous.
What Kyle Tucker's getting. And then I'm with you. I don't think Bo Bichette's a $42 million a year guy. I think he's a very good player, one of the better hitters in baseball, but $42 million is a lot of money to be paying a guy across 3 years.
And so then you have the Nightingale tweet where he says the Phillies had agreed to Bo Bichette's request of a 7-year, $200 million contract deal last night on Thursday night. And then I think you said, like you mentioned, dude, the Mets not getting Tucker, they were just like, here, Bo, here's $42 million a year.
Yeah.
And I guess, like, hey, that infield now, so the resources are saying he's going to play third. So I don't know what you do with Vientos. I don't know what you do with Brett Beatty.
Yeah.
They could be
one of those
market.
guys can DH. Maybe Vientos is your DH now.
Sure, and Beatty can be moved.
Yeah. And then you got Simeon and
Lindor.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, man.
You put Polanco at first. I don't
know.
I don't know what they're going to do there, but they got some hitters now, man. They got some offense.
They do.
And they're a lot different. To talk about a team that blew it up.
From Nimmo, McNeil,
Alonso out, and you bring in who you brought in. Simeon, obviously, now Bichette, and a couple other moves here and there. It's they lose Diaz to the Dodgers, so it's good for the Dodgers. Feel bad for the Dodgers. Nice to see them have a nice offseason,
Right.
Add a little more pop to their
defending World
lineup.
Series champions.
Yeah, a little more juice to their lineup a little bit. That's good.
Sure.
Man.
I am shocked by it. Like, I did not expect it. I think it was a done deal. And the fact that the Mets swooped in like that really pisses me off. And I think the first time that he comes to Citizens Bank Park, though, we talked about booze.
He shot up the villain list in a hurry.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
Yep.
Now, are you more upset? And I saw, I was going to bring this up, but I saw our friends over at 97.5 The Fanatic also had the same thing. I think it's their Twitter poll with our good friend Ricky Bo.
Right.
But are you more mad at the Mets, the Phillies, or Bo Bichette?
I mean, I can't be mad at the Phillies. 7 years, $200 million offer. That's, you could always be mad at the Mets for swooping in.
Sure.
I guess that's my answer. And how can you be mad at Bo Bichette? You can be a little resentful of Bo Bichette, but he took what he thought was the best deal for him. Again, I think he's thinking take the shorter term deal and hit free agency again. And he can opt out after this year and next year. So he's got a lot of options. So, it's business. It's baseball. You can be mad at the Mets for swooping in. You can be disappointed the Phillies didn't get the job done. And you said it like you thought it was a done deal. I was always a little nervous, just like it's never a done deal till it's a done deal. And there was just a week's worth of, oh boy, it's building. They're going to get it done. They're the favorites. They went from the favorites to the clear favorites to, the overwhelming favorites. Like, okay, this is all great, but let's get it done. And I think a lot of that was posturing. I think a lot of that was posturing by Bo Bichette's camp to kind of, put the pressure on some other teams, including the Mets, that, hey, the Phillies, this is a real thing, and the Phillies are offering, and that we had a great meeting with them, and we'll go there, no problem. And that's how it works. And you can't blame them for that, I guess. It's kind of like it's a part of the business, and it's disappointing when you're on the Phillies end of it. And Dave Dombrowski knows that. He knows how these things work. But obviously the Phillies thought they had a real shot. And again, the Tucker signing with the Dodgers, I think, kind of started this chain of events, and the dominoes started falling, and Phillies kind of got pushed out on the outside looking in. And I know we're going to get into JT. It wasn't a total loss Friday. They did get JT done, but would have been a lot better to get JT done in addition to Bo Bichette instead of Bo Bichette.
Yeah, and we'll get to JT in a second. I think like you said, the people that are mad at Dave Dombrowski and the Phillies, I don't, what could you possibly be mad about? Dave is getting so much slack on social media.
Yeah.
What Dave has done in bringing in Trey Turner, Nick Castellanos, Kyle Schwarber, he didn't bring in Bryce, but Bryce has been there. All these big name guys, you re-sign Aaron Nola. I know that's kind of like the big, shouldn't have done that kind of thing, but I don't get the flack, man. Like, you brought all these guys in here. It's the same thing. Stand in my milk box again.
Yeah.
It's the two podcasts ago. Like, you brought these guys in. You brought the championship level players in.
Right. And
they're not getting the job done.
Yeah.
So, like, just because you don't get Bo Bichette, I don't think it's the end of the world. Dave doesn't need to get fired. He did what Bo Bichette wanted. He offered him the same deal that Bo Bichette and his camp wanted. The 7 years for $200 million. What can you do? Steve Cohen decided to say, hey, I don't care about money. Here's $42 a year.
Yeah.
You can't be mad. Now, I am mad at Bo Bichette. I am mad at Bo Bichette because that's BS. I think, you say this camp, and I guess you can't be that mad at him because it does come down to money. If someone offered me $42 million a year compared to 7 years, $200 million,
which is what, about $29 million a year?
About. I'd be like, yeah, man.
29 million.
Yeah.
It's a big difference.
I'd be like, sure.
Yeah.
I guess.
And he's betting on himself, like I said. Like, I think he thinks he can, make more over the total of that 7-year, $200 million deal than the Phillies offered him if he combines this contract he just got with whatever he may get 3 years down the road. But yeah, and just to follow up on what you were talking about, Dombrowski, I think a lot of people credit more John Middleton for obviously Bryce Harper was a Matt Klentak thing, but I think they kind of credit Middleton more for these big contracts, Trey Turner and Schwarber getting re-signed and just, hey, that's him spending the money, and hey, it's easy, anybody can be the GM and hand out $300 million contracts and $150 million contracts, and Dave Dombrowski I think deserves. I hear what you're saying. He deserves credit for those deals. Certainly, he's involved in the negotiations, but I just think people blame Dave for kind of in their mind for the most part. This is about year 3 now of running it back.
Sure.
I think that's what the issue is. Why aren't we making a trade? Why aren't we shaking it up a little bit? Look what the Mets are doing. They kind of had a disappointing season. They definitely had a disappointing season, and they shook it up. So I think that's what people were expecting. But it is what it is. And if Bo Bichette gets done, I think people are really excited about Dave Dombrowski's offseason.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. And then JT happens, and now it's all Dave Dombrowski running it back again. And it's got a kind of a disappointing feel to it.
Yep. I get it. I get that point of it because it is. You're running it back now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Dave's comments down in the winter meetings were like, yeah, I don't get why everyone hates that. Yeah, we're a good team.
Won 96 games.
Correct.
Division champs 2 years in a row.
You have to get it done in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The team's good enough. That's what I don't know. It's frustrating. And I'm on that seesaw just teetering.
Yeah.
But
no, it's all kind of still raw. We're still kind of processing everything, and it's funny how the pendulum swings from the excitement of we're going to get Bo Bichette, we're going to add him to Bryce Harper and Trey Turner and Kyle Schwarber, and now you don't, and now you can look and you have the same lineup with the exception of maybe Adolis Garcia and Justin Crawford.
Sure.
Which I don't think people are too fired up about.
Very excited about. I'm not even going to say best of luck to Bo. I hope.
Yeah, we'll see. Playing third, switching positions. I guess a lot of pressure on him in New York.
And it won't surprise me if he opts out after this coming season because the lockout's looming, especially after that deal on Thursday night with Kyle Tucker going to the Dodgers. I think the lockout is pretty much all but a guarantee.
Yeah.
So I think it won't surprise me if Bo opts out and goes get paid even more.
Then you're back in on him next offseason.
Sure.
You're a Bo guy again.
Sure. Then you bring
me back, Bo.
Well, and that's the thing. So is the big move Don Mattingly now? Is that the big offseason?
I mean, re-signing Schwarber, I guess, is the headliner.
Sure.
But, yeah.
Mattingly, baby.
Never a great thing when the bench coach is kind of your biggest addition from the outside. I mean, Adolis Garcia, they're hoping it's a $10 million deal. It's a 1-year deal. Brad Keller in the bullpen. I hear you.
Speaking of Brad Keller.
Yes, news on Brad Keller.
Going to pitch for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic.
That's awesome.
Great for him.
Yeah.
What I don't understand, though, is that I believe that he was on the Foul Territory podcast 2 or 3 weeks ago and said he's not going to pitch. He wants to focus on the season.
Interesting.
And now he's pitching for Team USA.
Change of heart.
Sure.
Yeah, and we've discussed some of my reservations in previous podcasts of especially the pitchers in the WBC, ramping up a little quicker, a lot quicker, pitching in these high intensity games is something they're not used to in early March. So definitely a tinge of concern on my side that Brad Keller is now going to be asked to throw some big innings for Team USA, and hopefully, knock on wood, he comes out of that injury free, and it's a great experience for him, and he kind of goes seamlessly into the Phillies bullpen. But it's always an injury risk for the pitchers in the WBC with the timing of this thing.
It's scary. It is scary. Yeah. We'll see, but good for him. Go represent our country, man. Yeah. And go get a job done. Clayton Kershaw also on that team, which I think is.
Yeah.
They were I saw a tweet that was his last pitch ever is going to be to a bomb to a 19-year-old from Nicaragua.
Oh, let's hope not. Let's hope not.
Poor Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, but
all right, we'll hit an ad break, and then obviously we'll talk about the big news. JT Realmuto is returning on a 3-year, $45 million deal, but we'll pay some bills to Philly Sports Trips real quick, and then we'll catch you on the other side. Spring training right around the corner. So escape the cold and come catch the Phillies in Clearwater with NBC Sports Philadelphia and Phillies Sports Trips. We're teaming up to bring fans the most unforgettable Phillies spring training experience yet. The trip includes Phillies game tickets, beachfront accommodations, round-trip travel, all-inclusive tailgates, and much more. Plus, appearances from Larry Boa, Charlie Manuel, and of course, NBC Sports Philadelphia's own Ben Davis. Book your trip today at phillysportstrips.com. Welcome back to Phillies Talk, presented by Team Toyota. Sean Kane over there, Spencer McKercher right over here. Kaner, it was always the deal that I was told was going to get done. On Wednesday, down at the winter meetings, basically they offered him 2 years, $30 million. Then it came back that he wanted a third year, so they offered him 3 years, $45 million, $15 million a year. That was a month and a half ago.
Right.
Now here we are as we sit down on Friday, January 16th, to lose out on Bo Bichette, but your team captain, at least defensively, and at once the BCIB, JT Realmuto, is back with the Philadelphia Phillies. Your initial reaction to something that we kind of expected, but it's kind of a sigh of relief that he actually did sign the contract.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing for 2026, clearly, that JT Realmuto is going to be your starting catcher. They didn't really have any other options. They certainly didn't have any better options, in my opinion. So having him back for 2026 is a big deal. It's a big deal defensively. It's a big deal, most importantly, for the pitching staff. You know, he's been praised for the work he's done. The pitchers across the board, starting pitchers, relievers, they all love throwing to him. He's such a big part of their game planning, their hitters meetings before each series, how we're going to attack certain guys. Like, he's really, really smart, and he's good at that stuff, and he calls a good game, and that's huge. That's a huge part of baseball. So to have that all back this year and next, and obviously down the road even in 2028 with that 3-year deal. And you could certainly debate the merits of giving him a 3-year deal. We have talked about this all off season. You know, who besides the Phillies is out there offering him a 3-year deal, and what was the market like for JT? Who are the Phillies bidding against that they felt it was necessary to give him a 3-year deal? Obviously, he's a guy they respect. He's a big part of what they do. You want to try to placate him, I guess, but it's a business, like we just talked about Bo Bichette. So to me, I'd have been happier giving him a 2-year deal. But they went 3 for $45. There's some incentives in there that could get it up to $60. So, you know, good for JT. He got a 3-year deal, which is clearly what he wanted. I don't know if the Phillies, it's in their best interest on the back end of that. He's going to be 35 in March, but that it is what it is in terms of the length of the contract. But it's a good thing for 26. Like, we talked about it. Where would they pivot to if they couldn't get him? So it's a good thing for them. I know the timing isn't great. They miss out on Bichette, and then JT signs, and everybody out. A lot of people are probably, oh, great. Okay, well, JT's coming back. Well, that is great. It is good to have JT back. It helps them for the immediate future. We'll see down the line. But a good thing for this year. It's just unfortunate it kind of played out the way it did in timing.
Going to the timing thing, we got a text from our buddy who currently is on radio right now at 97.5 The Fanatic and is on the Phillies pre- and post-game shows, Ricky Bo.
I know him.
His exact quote to me was, timing was blank.
Yeah. A Ricky word.
With an S.
Yes. Right,
yeah. And my point to him was, I think this is exactly what the Phillies had planned all along. I think they could have. I think I said 75%. It sounded like that the deal was going to happen with both of them, where on Friday, today, and or whenever Bo really kind of decided to make the call, it was going to be like, hey, we signed Bo Bichette, and we also signed JT Realmuto. So I don't think the timing had anything to do with it. I think this was always going to be the deal that was signed.
Right.
It's just people are really not happy about it, and I get it, because it's like, oh, hey, here's our 35-year-old catcher coming back. Yeah. But it's much, as you mentioned, I'm so glad you said that, because it's much more than just a 35-year-old catcher. Yes, he had a pretty poor offensive season in 2025. Arguably his worst offensive production of his career was last season. He came up big in the playoffs. But then again, it's just like you said, his relationship with these starting pitchers is massive. And him and Caleb Cotham basically sit down with all these starters every single start and really dissect the game plan. And it's JT's game plan. We hear it all the time when it's either Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler, Christopher Sanchez, anybody, even Ranger, like, always gave credit to JT. So I think him coming back is huge. Because, I don't know what you would have done. You would have signed Victor Caratini. You would have maybe traded for Jeffers.
Marchand and some sort of platoon with somebody, another veteran. Yeah.
Because it was funny. Like, it would have been wild if all of a sudden the starting lineup in 2026 has your 8-hole hitter is Justin Crawford and your 9-hole hitter is Rafael Marchand and Garrett Stubbs.
Yeah.
So think about it like that, Phillies fans. It could be worse.
It could be.
I'm not too disappointed in it. I'm not. I'd love it. I'm glad it happened. It needed to happen. And I think we're on the same page there.
Yeah, I think so. And we talked 2 days ago about, wow, if they could get both of them, but Bichette and JT, what do you think the chances are? And, maybe you're right. Maybe they were hoping they get Bichette done. And obviously once they didn't get Bichette done, it was pretty obvious. Like, okay, well, they just offered him $200 million. So they have a chunk of it now that needs to go to JT. I'm sure JT was like, okay, like you've signaled that you're willing to spend, and here I am. So doesn't surprise me on that front. Would have been awesome to get both of them done, but getting JT is better than missing out on Bichette and missing out on JT. That would have been a disaster. So not the best day, but there's a little silver lining. And again, 3-year deal's a little suspicious, questionable in my mind, but I guess that's what it took to get it done. So here we are.
Just that, I know I've said this on previous podcasts, just the third catcher ever, joining Yadier Molina and Carlos Ruiz as a catcher that signed a 3-year or longer deal going into their age 35 season. So
yeah,
congratulations, JT Realmuto. I don't think he was ever going anywhere, but here we are. He got his money. I think the Phillies, this is the same deal that I was told was going to happen. So they got it done. All right, as we wrap up, where do they go from here? Because they still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
I think this lineup isn't as good as it was at the end of 2025. I don't think the rotation, obviously you lose Ranger Suarez. I saw there's some funny people on Twitter that they say they like these sources. And look, I'm not tweeting. I like that I have a source now. It's kind of sick.
There you go.
But like these guys are like, oh, they're now shifted their focus on Cody Bellinger. I don't know if I buy that.
Right. That would be a long shot, in my opinion.
Same.
I mean, he's going to get a lot of money. There's a lot of teams that are still in on him. Obviously, positionally, he's a outfielder, first baseman, and they could use an outfielder, obviously, but I don't think they're. Well, who knows? 2 weeks ago, we were sitting here saying, I don't know,
no chance. Yeah, that's true.
I guess that ended up being the case, but we got a lot closer than we thought we were 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think they're still hunting for a right-handed bat in the outfield. Like I still think going into this with like Brandon Marsh and Otto Kemp as your platoon in left field and Justin Crawford every day in center field, I don't think that's the answer. So are they hunting for a right-handed bat out there somewhere in free agency, whether it's a trade? I think that you said it. They have work to do. They could add some starting pitching depth. They could still be looking in their bullpen. I think the number one priority is getting a right-handed bat in here somewhere in the outfield.
Is that Harrison Bader?
I don't know. I mean, Bader's probably going to want. He obviously wants a multi-year deal, and I think they kind of early in the offseason came to the agreement that Harrison's going to kind of price himself out of what we're willing to offer. But if he's not getting that, Bader isn't getting any offers from other teams. Does he come back? Yeah. I mean, they know him. They're familiar with him. He's a right-handed bat. Now, I don't think we've talked about this too. I don't think you can count on him having the type of year he did last year. That was a career year for him. He came over and he was great for the Phillies, and he was great for that. Before that, for the Twins last season, I don't think you can count on that. But if his market kind of collapses and he's not getting the offers he thought he would, and the Phillies could get him back on a 1-year deal, maybe a $2 million deal with some sort of option, I wouldn't be opposed to bringing Harrison Bader back. He's better. He would make their outfield better than it is right now.
Would that get you to whelmed?
Yes, that would get me to whelmed. Okay. I wouldn't be overwhelmed, but yes, that would get me to whelmed. And I don't know, but that would be just run it back.
I would hate it. I think that's what they're going to do, or they're going to go out and get a guy like Zach Gallen, maybe.
Yeah.
Like you lose Ranger. Do you go supplement this rotation because Jesus Luzardo is coming off the most innings he's ever thrown? Christopher Sanchez is coming off the most innings he's ever thrown. We don't know what Andrew Painter is.
Yeah, he's the key painter to me. Like it's time for him to come out, win a job in the spring, and be your fifth starter.
And what was Aaron Nola's ERA?
Like 6-something,
6.11.
He's got to bounce back, Nola. Obviously, I mean, I think he will not post a 6 ERA. It'd be great if he could get back somewhere in the threes. But he's getting up there. He's throwing a lot of innings, obviously. So who knows? There's a lot of question marks in the rotation. But starting with Zach Wheeler,
would you go get a guy like Gallen?
I would love Zach Gallen. Yeah, right. If they could get him on the cheap on a 1-year deal or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what his market's like, but Zach Gallen to me didn't have a great year last year, but he's a guy I think you can count on to give you some innings and be an effective starting pitcher. He's done it for a long time.
It's I don't know. Yeah. I don't think they're done. Like you said, I think it's either going to be Harrison Bader or some sort of right-handed bat.
Right.
Someone in the rotation.
Yeah.
Or they're going to go after Cody Bellinger.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen. But can you imagine? Would that? Okay. Back to the same question. If they get Cody Bellinger, are you overwhelmed?
Oh, yeah. I like Cody Bellinger.
I love Cody Bellinger.
He's a versatile dude. He can play a number of positions, and he can hit.
I wish he was on this team like 4 years ago.
He's got big market experience, obviously. Yeah. He was the MVP. He's a former MVP. Yeah. So yeah, it's but I do want to give some good news that has gotten completely overshadowed when it comes to the Phillies this week. Francisco Renteria.
Oh yes, I meant to bring up the 17-year-old.
So it's down the road, but obviously with all the free agent happenings and not getting Bichette and JT, like it's going to kind of get glossed over. But they gave him $4 million in their international signing bonus to sign out of Venezuela, outfielder, 17 years old, big kid, like 6'3", 6'4", all kinds of tools. Clearly a guy they have high hopes for. So knock on on wood, 4 years down the line, 5, how long it'll be for him to kind of work his way through their farm system. But he's a guy that could make a big impact down the road for them. Not going to help right away, obviously. He's still 17, but it's pretty exciting that they felt the need to spend that much money on him, and everybody raves about his potential and what he can be one day. So keep that name in mind. That's good news.
I love it, man. $4 million contract, as you mentioned. He's out of Venezuela. He's 6'3", 200 pounds, and he's ranked the third best prospect in the international class. They signed Ranger to when he was 16 for $25,000. They just gave this kid $4 million.
Yeah.
So it's a guy that I could be excited to see down the future. I mean, you have Aiden Miller, now you have him. It would be a pretty solid left side of the infield there. Yeah. Once Trey and who knows what they do with Alec Boehm kind of come along. I got some more notes on him. So he's the son of former big leaguer Edgar Renteria, Red Sox, Giants.
Yeah, little Cardinals. He was all over the Marlins.
Yeah.
Edgar he bounced around quite a bit. Yeah.
So this is coming from a scout down in Venezuela. Plus raw power, great bat speed, possessing some of the best pop in the 2026 class. He can hit both parts of the field. He has a shorter swing. Tends to leak out in front a little bit, leading to some vulnerability to off-speed breaking pitches. But he has explosive rotation, could stay stacked a bit longer, has a great glove coupled with an above-average speed, could begin in center field as well. Fangraphs also noted he will likely end up in the corner as he makes his way through the system due to slowing down. Also said because of how much he's growing. Potential, according to Baseball America, potential 30-home run threat, should make an impact in 6 years or so. So
a lot to like.
Maybe
an outfield 5 years from now with Justin Crawford and Francisco Renteria and whoever else you want to plug in there.
Franny, baby.
Franny, exactly. It's, by the time he gets up here, that's going to kind of be the Bryce Harper's contract will be ticking down. It'll kind of be maybe a new era of Phillies baseball by that point. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's hold out hope, Spence, that this core group can get over the hump here. And it would have been a lot easier getting over the hump with Bo Bichette, but not meant to be.
I'll say it. It's whatever.
Yeah,
I'm over it.
You're over it. Wow, that was quick.
I was not. I would never pay Bo Bichette $30+ million.
Would you been all right with 7 years, $200 million, a little under 30?
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah,
I think that's perfect.
Yeah,
but 30+, no.
Okay,
$42 million a year.
That's a lot. Steve Cohen's money, not yours, though.
Sure. He saw that smoke last night, I guess. Did you see that tweet?
No.
He tweeted out
Steve Cohen did?
Yeah, on Thursday, afternoon. I think it was like 7, 8 o'clock, maybe evening, I guess you could say. And he's like, the smoke's starting to build, kind of profiting the Pope.
Yeah.
For Kyle Tucker.
Correct. Yeah. So much for that. But
then he did that.
He had a plan B. Steve did.
He did.
Mets and the Dodgers, man, they're gearing up. Philly's got to keep pace.
We have a lot.
Cubs. We talked about the Cubs yesterday with Bregman.
We have a lockout in 27, right?
I mean, at this point, that would be my guess. Yeah. I hope not as a baseball fan, but I mean, that's another discussion, which probably we'll have on another day.
We'll have another pod, yeah.
The salary cap issue, what the Dodgers are doing, it's just we're disappointed as Phillies fans. They're still spending $300 million. No, Imagine being the Pirates. We always say the Pirates out there. They want to spend more.
The Marlins,
the Marlins, the Royals. These teams that are the Royals,
even
are
the Brewers.
The Brewers, exactly. They win their division, but they can't compete dollars and cents wise with what the Dodgers and the Mets are doing.
It's ridiculous, man.
It's something needs to give. Players don't want it, obviously, but I think for the betterment of the sport, there needs to be some sort of, because this luxury tax threshold, that's not stopping the Dodgers.
No,
it's not stopping the Mets.
Clearly not.
Frankly, it's not stopping the Phillies. They were prepared to go well over it. So
speaking of that threshold, I saw something that the Tucker deal was basically $110 million a year.
Right, because it's twice as much and then some. Yeah. So, something's got to give for the competitive balance of the sport.
Oh, man. Yeah, and what? It's Betts, Freeman, Ohtani, and Tucker now are making more a year annually than the entire Brewers roster.
Yeah, I'm sure than a number of teams.
That's a division champ the last 3 years.
Yep. It's crazy. It's getting out of hand.
That's a conversation for later.
Can't hate the Dodgers. They want to win, and they're all winning. But at some point, when does it hurt the sport?
Hate the Dodgers.
In terms of you can't hate their desire to win. But
sure.
Yes, I can hear you. You can certainly hate the Dodgers.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, land the plane.
Yeah.
Good luck. No. See you, Bo. I guess. Oh, Bo. Oh, no, Bo. I don't know.
Still only one Bo in Philadelphia. Philadelphia isn't big enough for two Bo's.
So true.
You got Ricky Bo. There's no room for
no
Bo.
That's it. That's all you need.
Only Bo we need.
That's literally the only Bo that we need.
Sure.
Glad JT is back. Shout out to Brad Keller going to pitch for Team USA as well. So we said we'd be here whenever the Bichette news happens, and we are here. So we're going to land the plane. Thanks for listening to the Phillies Talk podcast. Have a great weekend. Don't let this ruin it. It's okay. Let them go suffer with the New York Mets.
Right.
About 220 this year.
The sun will come up tomorrow.
Sun will come up tomorrow. Go enjoy a good weekend. Cats game tomorrow night. Sean Kane.
Yes.
St. John's.
Right.
At the X.
At the X. Big East game here in South Philly.
I'll see you then, buddy. Thanks for listening to the Phillies Talk podcast presented by Team Toyota. That's Sean Kane. I'm Spencer McKercher. We'll talk to you guys soon.